we do have right now is this impressions. I got to fix that camera. Of Endeavor Deep Sea.
Something like that.
Endeavor Deep Sea.
Now, Carlos? Did you back this?
No.
Oh no.
Oh, you bought it. You bought it second market because wasn't it?
No, I bought it retail.
It's retail now. Okay,
retail version.
But
Bob's played both copies.
Yeah, I played both.
Okay, the Kickstarter versus retail. What's the difference?
Very little. There's some painted wooden pieces in the upgraded pack that aren't painted here. The cubes on your player boards are little symbols, like the DNA track is a little DNA symbol. Here it's just a gray cube. But it's all, I mean, this is wood, those are wood. It's not any kind of change in the material of the components. Everything that's plastic or everything that's cardboard here is cardboard in the upgrade. Everything that's wooden here is wooden in the upgrade. The trays are the same. The organizer's the same. It really is not a big difference between the two. So I would say that if, unless you really, really like blinged out, and again, it's just a few painted, like the little submarines in this are not painted. They're just like silver.
So the difference is not as grand as the difference between Endeavor Age of Sail and then the Endeavor Age of Sail Deluxe.
Yeah, the Deluxe on Age of Sail, they took almost all the cardboard out of it and made everything wood. So there was a big jump there. I feel that was a pretty big jump, and actually I still have all the cardboard stuff. So one of these days I'll upgrade to the wood.
Well, Wayne, let me give you a quick run through the board real quick of what came out of this box.
Yeah, so it's set up here, yeah.
The tray, what used to be what's that tray company, Robert?
Game Trays.
Game Trays with a Z. It used to be Game Trays for Endeavor Age of Sail. This is
plastic, but yeah.
This is that egg carton material, kind of like what we found in Middle Earth Duel.
Recyclable.
Yep.
Yes.
This is very environmentally friendly, which Endeavor
I'm okay with that.
That was a big push for him here.
Now,
so the tray's meant to be used long term, so it should last.
Sure.
It
years.
feels thicker than the one, or sturdier than the one that came in the Duel, the Middle Earth Duel. I complained about that tray. This tray does feel a little more sturdy, a little tougher. It's imprinted with the what do you call this? The level.
Sure.
The recruitment level of the different
workers.
It used to be buildings.
The buildings in the old one. These
characters
are professionals.
Now.
Yeah.
And it is multi-level. So what I mean by that is some of these trays are meant to hold 4 tiles, while some of these trays only hold 2 tiles or 3 tiles. So the tiles, the way they have the embossment inside, it changes the depth of that tray so that everything stays nice and level. And then it's got the corners kind of trimmed out, so you just push down. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I love that.
It's kind of the same in the Endeavor Age of Sail.
It's the first time I had ever seen that was in Age of Sail. It is the same exact design, really. Well, not exact, but almost.
It's that recyclable material. That's the impression. That's the
Yep.
part that impresses me.
Yep.
You know, I kind of wish that Brass had a tray like that where you can have all your technologies in it.
That would be really nice for
That
setup.
would be nice.
Yeah, take it.
Comes with a sleeve for that tray, so you can put all the tiles in, sleeve it, and put it back in the box so it doesn't. It's almost like a lid.
Can you store vertically?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I haven't done that test yet.
Everything came in paper bands. So all the cards came in paper bands, and then all the baggies are that
New recyclable plastic stuff.
biodegradable.
Oh, nice.
plastic.
Okay.
So they really did take. They made a game about conservation, and they took that to heart. I feel.
I'm on board with
the
that.
production of the game.
Yeah, conservation is one of the mechanisms in the game. One of the little things you can do is a conservation action, and so they definitely were making a push.
Check that out, Robert. Right there on the cover. I didn't realize that it says Game Trays.
Oh, on the sleeve. Oh, okay, so it is still Game Trays.
Game Trays is making it, but now they're making it with the recycled paper material.
Cool.
The Game Trays is getting on board.
I wonder what their cost is if it's different than plastic. Like it could be
I saw a study
recyclable
today that said that you'd have to use a paper bag 3 times in order for its cost in energy and impact to the environment in order to save the use of one disposable plastic bag.
Okay.
So that's a good question, Mike. So
but it's not
with
so
the
much about
paper-
but it's not so much about the energy. Maybe it costs, but the paper will still biodegrade like within a month or two.
Right.
And plastic
I'm
bag
just,
is there 1,000 years later.
Yes.
yeah, I'm just curious what their profit margin difference is going, with a paper-like material over plastic. But anyway, we're not here to talk about
Economics of board
profit
games.
margins and crap like that. Talk about that game. So
Tell us
you
about
like it
Endeavor.
more compared to the other one, is what you said, huh?
No, I don't know. Right. So I've expressed my love for Endeavor Age of Sail many times.
Right.
Every time we play it, we talk about it.
The board's not up there.
It's not on there for this year.
It's in my
Well,
Hall of Fame up there.
It's in your
Yeah.
Hall
Be
of Fame
anywhere in
already.
that room,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Carlos wouldn't know. But anyway,
I got dead bodies hiding in here.
yeah,
This room is full of
yeah.
stuff. I've had just as much enjoyment, but what was surprising, Mike, is it was different. It was such a I expected to come into what I thought was going to be a reskin of a game. Right?
Mm.
Wayne taught me Pokemon Splendor, and it gave me exactly what I expected. Splendor with some Pokemon and a twist. That is not what you get with this game of Endeavor. You will
Nope.
not feel like you're playing a reskinned Endeavor Age of Sail. This feels more like I'm gonna liken it to Command and Colors through GMT, where it has a system
Oh.
that gets transplanted to different themes.
And it's
Right, you
tweaked
can
a
play
little bit or whatever.
samurais, or you can play ancients. I feel like they used mechanisms from the system of Endeavor,
Mhm.
but it felt nothing like I was playing the
Yeah.
original Endeavor.
It's a lot different.
Interesting.
Yeah. I would say, we talked about before whether we even really should compare this to the original because it's so different.
So different.
Yeah, I mean that you can feel definitely the bones of the Age of Sail in this. I mean the little player boards are, I would say, almost identical. I mean,
Yes,
they're
you got
very
the
similar.
4 attribute tracks,
Yeah,
and you're capturing tags to move your attributes up, which then improve your engine,
Yep.
and also dictates your score. So that's exactly the same.
Yep.
The steps that you take your actions in.
Yeah.
Step 1, pick a new upgrade, which was a building in the first one. Now it's a person, a recruit. Step 2, add disc from the supply to your board. Step 3, take disc off of players that you've already used, characters you already activate, remove them, and put them in your supply. And then the final track is your ingenuity track, which I don't remember what that track was in the other one. Anyway, comment below if you remember.
it's been a little while since I played, but yeah,
But all that feels the same.
yeah,
The steps of the actions you take,
yeah.
but the decisions that you're making when
Oh,
you
yeah.
get to the action phase, that's where the game goes completely off the rails.
Yeah, and the fact that you're building the board in this one, so the board is completely modular here. So I mean, these
Right.
are all individual tiles. So in the starter game, you start with a couple of presets. It's like 2 or 3 presets, and then like one random. But then as you play the game, one of the mechanisms of the game is you're doing a sonar scan to discover new areas. And so when you do that, there's numbers printed on here. You can take tiles from stacks that are different levels: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you take 2, you choose 1, you place it, and then the other one goes on the bottom of the stack. And so games can be very, very different. The first time I played, the only other time I've played, we did conservation. One of the mechanisms of the game is conservation, and we did
Yeah.
conservation all over the place. Our board was conservation heavy. There was options of places to go, and we all pumped up our conservation tracks, and that's what we did, or conservation actions. In this game, we had almost none. We have 2 tiles out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that do conservation. And so this one we had to go different directions, so it was a different game. So it's
So that
very-
modular board, kind of like it, whereas in Age of Sail, you have the map with
Right.
all the pieces out there, so you can
Yep.
kind of plan ahead with what you want to do. This
Yep.
one, as you're building the board, you may have to pivot your gameplay.
Yep, every time somebody places one, and that's a major part of this. And so we played at 2 players. I played the first time at 3 players, and at 3 players, the board fills up faster, and so you have to use that explore action more often because you just run out of places to go and things to do. So I would imagine even certainly more so at 4 players, and so that's where the scaling of the game is really kind of cool. The board we build here, you potentially can go 5 by 5, so it's a 5 by 5 grid if you max it out. You can see here we only did, like I say, 8 or 9 tiles. In the 3-player game, we went 4 levels deep. Here we were only 3 deep. We filled in the first couple of rows entirely. Here we only filled in 1 entire row. With 4 players, I can imagine that you're going to be close to a 5x5 by the time you're done. So interesting. I hadn't thought about it, but it definitely does take up more table space when you do that because you're going to put all these tiles out. But in a 2-player game, the board is going to stay smaller. It's going to stay tighter. We spent more of our time taking actions on these boards because they were just more available things to go to on what was already there, and we didn't have to push that exploration part of it.
So each turn you're when you flip over those tiles, there's action on the tiles. So in a smaller game, there's really no benefit to filling in more tiles.
Right.
If there's enough action spaces for what you have, right? There's no I flip the tile so I get extra points. Yeah.
Except we decide, right, as you hit the sonar action, you're going to take 2 tiles from the options way over there. There's 5 different levels of, I don't know if you remember the song in Nemo, mesopelagic, epipelagic, bathypelagic, right? You remember the song in Nemo. Come on, all the zones of the sea. It has every zone.
You're on your own on this one.
Thank you, Robert. So you're going to draw 2 from varying zones depending on where you're sonaring. It's going to limit you to what you can draw. And then when you flip it, Wayne, there will be a exploration or discovery bonus.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there's some bonus
tags.
Yeah, you get tags. Yep.
Tags for the board.
Allow you to bump your tracks.
Bump your tracks. So this is where it gets cool because you really want to explore because the majority of your tracks are going to come from dropping these down.
Yeah.
Because you're getting, this one gives you 2 tag bonuses plus some research resource. This one gives you 2 different tag bonuses and a research resource. So you're like, okay, which tracks do I need to move? I saw Rob moving his tracks like a wild man, and that's because he was sonaring like a wild man.
Oh, yeah. I found out from my first play that was important. And again, you build the game. So again, talking about what you do, I mean, you can build the game, or I guess, sorry, get back to what you said, Wayne, about, keeping it small and tight because there's enough to do. But if, like in this game, we only had 2 of the tiles that had conservation. So if I decided that I wanted to go more conservation, I would do more sonar actions to do more exploration, and then I would be seeking out these conservation tiles, placing those because I knew that I was pushing my actions towards conservation. So you kind of, obviously you're building it to optimize what you're doing as far as your tracks and things. So,
but here's conservation, right? And in order to do conservation and or some journaling, you have to have some research. There's a resource now
DNA
called
track.
research.
Yeah.
It has a DNA symbol.
Yeah.
But it's officially called research.
Yeah.
We called it DNA.
We did.
You got enough DNA?
Yeah.
So Rob just threw his DNA all over the table.
Yeah, all over.
All over the table. But in order to get that DNA, you have to go to these dive sites. So it's like, okay, this site gives me some conservation and some journaling options, but I need research resource for that. And in order to do that, I got to find sites that have dive options so that I can dive those sites and mine the research from these dive tokens, because that's where you get your research resources from. So, I mean, there's this, like these, everything's connected.
Changed together, yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Looks
Which
like we
one
got
do I
some,
do first?
got some comments here, though, too. It looks like James said he says it felt very different. He really likes Deep Sea, but never really cared probably for the old version. We got Robert Cole here checking in. Says, I played this one. And then he said that I found that it took a long time to play. We found it quite satisfying. And I think before we went live, you said that it was a little bit of a long haul game there, or can be long.
I hear with more players, and that's what Rob's experience. You played 4.
Yeah, we played, or 3, actually.
3?
I said 4, but it was 3. Yep, it was 3 players. And it ran, it was, well, I say long. Let's see, what does the box advertise? The box advertises 30 minutes per player. So that's probably right. I think I said an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was on point for you and me because it was less than an hour when we were done.
So,
Robert, how many players? No, Robert Cole in the chat.
Was it a learning game?
Yeah, it's going to be a learning game.
Yeah. Carlos was learning this one. So, and like I say, I was definitely moving a little bit faster than I did the first time I played because I knew what was going on. I could see the links.
Freaking James. Did you see what he said? Nah, it's less than 3 hours.
It's a pass.
I mean, I think Age of Sail can be a pretty long game too. It is 4 players. 4 players in a learning game, so probably 2.5 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's probably 2.5 hours.
I mean, Endeavor Age of Sail can be a long game too. So I mean, it's not.
I don't consider those like anything like a game like that. with 4 players, I would fully expect it to be between 2 to 3 hours. A game, that's mid to heavyweight.
Yeah.
I would expect that kind of time frame, though.
Especially learning game. If we all knew it 2 hours, you could probably do it in 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to try that one. I remember when they were getting ready to launch the Kickstarter, I was like, oh man, a new Endeavor game here. But yeah, it looked very different. I was like, I'll just hold off. It's going retail. Eventually I'll find it.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the difference between, like, it sounds like the deluxe isn't that crazy different.
Is it not?
And so
feels
like
deluxe.
what
Like,
was
all
the
the
what was the
screen-printed token
price
price
difference
difference,
between
yeah.
the Kickstarter deluxe version and like what you can generally
I
find?
think
on
I was at
retail?
$50 and a half dollars. I think is
55?
what this one was.
Oh, that's not bad for a game like that.
I'd have to go back and look.
See what the deluxe version is. Yeah.
All right, cool.
But yeah.
I think the last thing I'll say about it until we play some more, because
the beans.
okay, not the last thing, the second to last thing.
Oh.
I now want to play this more. Like before, here was my hope. This is weird. This is weird, but I'm gonna say it. Here was my hope. I didn't know Robert had already played. I didn't realize he had already played.
Right. Yeah.
I was bringing him in here. I was hoping because of the theme he would love this. Right, love this so much that he would take this copy home with him and leave his copy of Age of Sail, which is sitting over there with me forever, like to make it its forever home.
I didn't even know you had it.
I still have it.
Okay. I forgot about it.
I borrowed it.
It's one of those things. Yeah.
But my hope was he'd be like, man, I love this more than Age of Sail. Then I'd be like, yeah, well, then just take it with you and leave the other one.
Just trade up. Yeah.
But what I found is Robert did not love it as much. But what ended up happening
you
was the
like this one,
opposite.
yeah.
I'm all like, ooh, now I really want to explore this one for its co-op mode and its solo mode. Like,
But you don't play solo games.
Of course not.
unless I do.
Yeah.
I'm curious now to see how that feels. And the reason I say that is for my last point. My last point is this game, it was all good feels, and I would say dang near felt like a semi co-op. Like I knew I was competing with Robert, but I'm like, hey man, find us another location, or if I go here and you link it, we can both get that, because I knew that I was not going to be able to take the other action linking. When you take one action and cover it with one of your discs, there's another action that's connected to it. And if anyone fills in that other action with a disc, both of you get the bonus that's between it. Right? In the original game, you had to cover both with your own in order to get it. If Robert took the other disc, he was cock blocking. Well, it's after 10 o'clock. yet?
Wow. Wow. Not even 9:30 yet over there. Jeez, dude.
But that's what he does, okay? I'm in my emotions. That's what he does. If he sees a space where he can take
Show
it.
me where Robert hurt you.
Right in my heart, okay?
Yeah.
But he would do that. He would purposely block you from getting the bonus by taking that spot. No, the other one, the original Endeavor, it was always a race to meet the governor, right? To get to become the governor of that location. And it was always this like order of actions that you got out of it, which were, it was always a race, and it was very frustrating to time that just right. Robert would somehow always be able to time it where he can pop like the last two and become the governor after I spent 3 actions getting him there, right?
The ones he cared about, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do.
So it's
All
like,
those negative feelings are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's none of that.
He'll find a way to put it back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bring it back in. Yeah.